I don't want to rag on Daigneault too much. I don't think this series should have gone 7 if it weren't for some of the mistakes he made early in the series. The falling up 3 when Jokic is off the floor, the weird challenge at the end of, I think, game 3, I don't want to go through it all, but so many errors early in the series. This could have been a shorter series for OKC is my point. Like, this team is a juggernaut. They went 7 against a super experienced Denver team as an inexperienced team that made some mistakes, but now they face Minnesota, been to a West Finals before. They've had a longer run, but they're not necessarily Denver. They haven't won a finals yet. With Anthony Edwards specifically, his growth from last year to this year, for people who maybe haven't watched the Minnesota Timberwolves this season, they're fans of another team. How would you describe how Anthony Edwards has evolved from 1 year ago to where he is now?
It's that he doesn't dunk anywhere near as much as you would think he does if you're just watching highlights on Instagram. Like that, obviously you can do it, and those are cool. But it's kind of like Cat. Cat was always like, oh, best 3-point shooting big man in the league. I'm going to shoot 3 per game, though. Like that it didn't translate, right? He doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Ant doesn't get down to the basket and dunk a lot of the time. Ant's superpower has become the 3-point shot and the walk-in 3, the finding his 3, catch and shoot off the dribble, step back right, step back left. Like, he's as good of a 3-point shooter as anybody in the NBA is right now outside of Steph Curry. And I'm talking about self-created, probably the second best. I mean, I don't know, right? Wouldn't you say it's right there, and he's doing it on volume. He shot 11 threes a game, during the regular season. That's the change in Anthony Edwards. That if you haven't been watching since last year and you're picturing him getting into the middle of the lane and trying to get to his mid-range, no, his shot diet is he shoots a lot and he shoots a lot of threes. And they want to create as many of those for him as possible. And then if a gap's there and a defensive breakdown, then he's going to try and take advantage of that and dunk on you. But a lot of the time, his biggest flaw in this postseason is he's not finishing well at the rim. And if you give him contact at the rim, and that the kind that's not called, he is not going to finish those at a high clip, despite the fact that you might see him dunk on somebody at some point during the series. It's just that eye test doesn't necessarily match what happens over the course of 100 possessions in a game.
According to Synergy Sports, this postseason, Anthony Edwards is making 47.7% of his total layups. In the half court, that drops to only 44.8% of layups in the half court. During the regular season, he was at 52.9% of made layups in the half court. Why
not
the
good.
decline?
That's
for
bad.
Ant?
He's not. He needs to play to the contact more, and I know that's getting a little floppier in that, but he tries to finesse his way with force and then around it, rather than straight through it, like some other guys would, and try to draw the contact there to get to the line. I mean, he'll let you know he thinks he got fouled, but he hasn't totally crafted the art of the sail yet on some of those. And instead he kind of tries to play around the rim, like the Hartenstein at the rim or whatever it might be, and, finish with finesse. And that's just going to go in at a lower clip than, 2 free throws would in terms of points per possession there.
In other words, you're saying he needs to be disliked like SGA and just start flaring and flopping around.
Everybody, we hate everybody here. Everybody likes Ant too much, Yeah, he's the one person that everybody likes. Maybe people will pick this team.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
exactly. Yeah, now you see where I'm coming from here. Everybody loves Ant. SGA, everybody just thinks he's a grifter and a flopper, which is ridiculous. But also, he does grift and flop sometimes. Because you have to. To your point.
You got to get off X, man. You got to. You got a T-shirt on? What's happening, dude? This is
it's a black shirt. I had to zoom out and the logo.
Oh yeah, sure. Kevin O X-rated, yeah.
Good nickname there. No, one other thought here with Minnesota. I get the impression you're not totally confident in the series. Would you be picking the Thunder?
I mean, Don't label me like a hater. They won 68 games. The Thunder are really good. I mean, in all seriousness, though, like it's hard. I'm around the team, over the course of this season. You're writing stories, doing podcasts about the things that don't work for a team. And there was a lot of things that didn't work for this team during the regular season. And so those are like more fresh on my mind and fresh in my understanding. But what I've been saying in this postseason is I need to like let some of that go from my mind, because what's happened in these postseasons is a lot of the issues that they've had during the regular season go away in the postseason due to greater focus, greater intention, greater effectiveness. One of the biggest ones all year was the Wolves were terrible in clutch time and have been awesome in this postseason. In that really impacted my view of where the Wolves could go in the playoffs. I'm like, I watched this team blow game after game after game close in the fourth quarter during the regular season. So that impacted how far I thought they would go, because clutch time is like playoff basketball, right? But Ant hits another level. Julius started making more sense. Other guys have filtered into roles that fit them effectively for those times in the game. And now they look like a very different team. Like, this is not a 6th seed. They were a 6th seed regular season team. And now I need to remember that this is just one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So maybe let go of some of those mental baggages or memories of what didn't work during the regular season, because largely it is working for this team. And so maybe that does give them a lot better of a chance against the Thunder than I would have said a month ago when I was thinking about the 6th seeded Timberwolves versus the 68 win Thunder. I don't know, man. I got to see it. Like, I want to see these games and see how they play against this Thunder team.
I think if I were power ranking the championship contenders, the final 4 teams there, who's most likely to win the NBA Finals, I would put it number 1, Oklahoma City. Number 2, Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 3,
crazy,
Indiana Pacers. Number 4, New York Knicks. Do you have any disagreements with that? In other words, I'm saying the finals winner comes out of the West.
I think it's close between the other 3 teams. Yeah, that's how I would put it. I might have the Knicks above the Pacers. But those three are all close, and the Wolves have a real opportunity here. I think they see that, they feel that, they believe that. These past couple of years in the postseason, man, it was like, let's get postseason experience. Like, it was weird being in the locker room after they won Game 5 against the Warriors and they moved on to the Western Conference Finals. Like, I saw more jubilation in there after like a win against the Hornets in February than I did after that. It was just kind of like, all right, yeah, no, this isn't it. Like, we're moving on. We're ready for the Western Conference Finals. We're ready to finally be tested, because look, man, the Lakers nor the Warriors really gave the Wolves any problems in the postseason. And again, it's what I'm talking about. This is a better postseason team than it is a regular season team. And that's what I think we should be looking at here